the first thing to do is realize that, yeah, this is going to come down and get narrowed down, draw some lines for that. And then I think the biggest thing for you guys to decide is how much effort you want to put into creating where the sound comes out of. Even if it is just a very nicely formed utilitarian whistle, designs could be drawn on it and painted on it. It could be relief carved with just shallow relief carving, not so much sculpture. You know, we have the tools and knives. I have a couple adzes here, so these, if you're rounding them off, you know, it's good. You can get your nice round shape. I don't want to do it for you guys because you guys are going to do it, but this is the quickest way to remove wood. With the red cedar, you just have to remember to be careful. Really test the grain, you know, make sure you know that grain feels like it's not going that way. It feels like if I keep hitting it, it's going to take a split and go all the way up. Now, if that falls into where you want it to be, fine. If that's not what you want, then you want to turn it around, because an adze can be such a delicate tool. You could take off just a tiny bit, or you could really remove a lot of wood with an adze. And so my dad used to tell, I'd be carving and carving, and my dad would say, "Why are you doing all that carving? Why don't you adze that thing?" You know, and I'd tell him, "Well, I don't know, I'm afraid of the adze." And he'd pick it up, and he could sit there and adze right down to his lines with perfection, you know. And so, and it does saves a lot of carving and stuff. But I still like to use a knife like this, you know, and they're sharpened on both sides, and these are great for rounding things off. So this is what I started with. I made a little template, and for me, I always like to make, you know, a little template in case I, you know, want to make a couple of them or something like that, or I want to cut out a blank and give it to somebody or whatever. So I kind of sketched up, you know, a little salmon head, thinking, well, I won't worry about the rest of the body, but I'll just kind of get the outside shape. I made sure that there was a clear line for air to get through here. You know, I'm going to increase my halibut fishing as well, so you know, I made a little halibut whistle, and in particular, there was one of the kids in my class is a halibut fisherman, and he got the idea that I wanted to catch more fish, so I was going to blow my whistle to bring me fish, and he said, "Well, I want to make one for halibut fishing," you know. So what we're going to do from this point, I guess, is all start thinking about our designs. I have lots of pieces of wood. A lot of them are around like 14 inches long, and I did get us some nice vertical grain quarter sawn wood, and like this is big enough to fit on there. Okay, so this is, and so is this, and it's, if somebody wants to make like this one here, I made out of just one thin piece like this because I kind of want it to be a little bit flatter. We have enough wood where if somebody wants to make, you know, a big round thing on the end and have it taper down. Do we have any dry erase markers by any chance? I don't think I brought any. If we have, say, the top view of our piece of wood like this. If we want to make a template, I brought template paper for us and stuff. We can fold a piece of template paper in half if it's going to be symmetrical. Okay, let's just call this our template paper for now. And we've folded it, okay? So if I want to say, this is going to represent my wood also. If I want to have a whistle that's kind of wider up here and tapers down, you know, I'm gonna draw this on one side, fold it back, and then cut this out with scissors. And I brought scissors. And then if we open it up, it just saves us headaches of having to get both sides symmetrical. You know, then we're gonna end up with a shape like this, okay? And that'll kind of be our top view. You know, and at some point down here, we're probably gonna, you know, then bring it in a little bit and have our mouthpiece down here. Okay, so these are just the most basic, simplest of designs. When we're going to get these together, if we're using two like this, then what we're going to end up with is we're going to end up with two pieces of wood. You know, and they're going to be stacked up together. And so the top shape is going to be like this, but then, you know, we might not want it this big and fat and thick all the way down. So on this piece of wood here, you know, maybe we're going to draw ourselves a line down like this, and maybe up here we draw ourselves a line down like this. Okay, so we're going to have to definitely decide a top profile shape for this, and then we're going to have to decide on the side shape. So that is the very first thing that we'll be doing. I have some pencils and things, and if you have an idea, depending on your skill levels, I'm not really going to be going much into designs and things. If you're comfortable with, you know, drawing up a design that you want to be a little more complicated, you could certainly draw up, you know, whatever it is you like, a salmon or a halibut. Or if you just want to learn the basic mechanics of how we're going to make these work and have a whistle, you know, like this one or a couple of these small ones. Really, once you understand the mechanics and how these work, then your mind's going to take off and go crazy places. That's where you're going to go, oh my gosh, I got all these ideas, you know, because I know I've got all these crazy ideas. Poor galleries are going to have nothing but whistles for the next 2 months coming out of me. You know, as you're thinking about what you want yours to look like, think about your carving skill, and we're here for today and tomorrow, so it's not like we're going to be able to carve any big sculptural masterpieces in 2 days. We can certainly get something like this easily completed in a couple days and get it wrapped up and working. I brought sandpaper if you want it to be smooth. Some of them, you know, they'll kind of come out and they just kind of flare out a little bit, you know. So you could make it flare out. You know, you could really do anything you want with the outside shape. The main thing is that you're able to get your air chamber through here and get your little sound mechanism in there. This is about 4 inches wide, and I think they're about 1.5 inches. I had my son plane these for me. I cut them a little bit big. I know they're 4 inches wide. I ran them to the table saw. For these whistles for you guys, I selected some fantastic wood, and I turned the log up on the sawmill to make sure we were quarter sawing it. It's all vertical grain going this way. For red cedar, this stuff's going to carve really nicely. I did not split this because, you know, due to just having access to band saws and wood planers, it makes it easier for me to just run it through like that. Now, I do have 2 pieces of wood at home that I sat there and I split. And I'll tell you the thing, if you split wood, make sure you have good straight grain wood, because it'll start splitting and then whoop, it'll take off and go on you. So you have to have good wood to split, and the wood's going to need to be longer than what you need, because the process to start the splitting starts carving in a little bit and it damages the top a little bit. And then when you put it back together, that part won't go back together like the rest of it will. So when you split the wood, leave some extra length, and that way then you can cut it off. And because the whole point behind splitting the wood is that it goes back together so perfectly. I mean, it just goes back together, and once you clamp it and wrap it, you really almost can't even tell that there was anything there.
Cedar at all for Darian? She said that she had spoken to Nathan, but she also wondered if you were interested with the whistle. Did you bring the Cedar at all for Darian?
I was
spacing out.
That was me spacing out.
Well, I need to make a spaceman then.
Are you doing a C3PO?
So
okay.
That was what Rex is that good enough?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
She was saying
probably. Yeah, it probably is.
Okay.
So
I'll just work with that.
let me get some knives. And the carpeting is here just because, like I said, I have an aversion to carving on hard surfaces. I don't know why, but I always stick something on a carpet when I'm carving. It doesn't slip, you know, it kind of helps with that, I think.
Did you come across a whole lot of deer calls and stuff like that when you're looking for whistles?
Deer calls? Yeah. You know, in fact. Oh, yeah.
Did you see John back? Okay.
I don't do anything like.
I know that's how they get it sometimes. I bet it's hard to find. It was hard. That's why I went out upstairs before because I'm on my coat and everything. And it's been so cold I've been wondering, how cold is it in Anchorage? Because I'm going up on Sunday with Donna for a couple of days. Is it that cold? Is it colder than here?
Yeah. Yeah, there's ice on it.
Or you just gonna kind of eyeball it again. Okay.
Yeah, that's about the same stuff.
So you can start adding down.
Yeah, I had it sitting on like a.
You can do a lot with a couple knives too, really. But a good carver can take a very plain knife and still make something really good. And we'll figure out the shape of the mouthpiece, kind of get that drawn in there, and then we'll figure out where the hole's gonna be. It's not working. Shapes and stuff, and that's.
Some people use like paint stirring sticks.
Yeah.
And they'll wrap around sandpaper. You use tape measure.
So my dad just retired, he was a dentist, and he sent me something like this that's made out of stone.
Angle proper on the knife. Now this is really sharp now. I mean. Yeah, that's really sharp. That's a nice knife.
Is it two angles? Should it be more straight up and down, or is that all right?
It's fine. You know, and you don't have to have the angle that steep on that one
Right.
coming into it, but you're gonna end up with a good sounding.
Okay.
I think I'm kind of finding that the more steep gives
Even
a.
for the sidewalls like that, they shouldn't be more straight up and down?
You know, I don't think it really matters. You know, I just think
I guess I'll find out, eh?
it's gonna make a noise.
Sure.
Then how that affects the noise,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
But no, that won't hurt anything.
All right.
The way you're coming in,
But I should try to
you end up
maintain-
with a pretty small little hole down there, but that's fine.
So maybe I should go a little more straight up and down so that
well,
that's
if
the width I
you
come up
wanted
with.
a little, but you know what? Here's the deal: you could always go back and
Right.
shave those back after.
I like this
You
approach.
might. No, that's how
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because otherwise, you know, you get into trouble and you can't get back
Yeah.
out of it. And the trick, you guys, with red cedar is red cedar really demands sharp knives. All wood likes sharp knives, but red cedar really likes sharp knives.
Well, it started out with my template, which has disappeared at the moment, but able to draw in the basic shape. Oh, there it is. Like that. Put on the center line. Used an adze to rough out the curve a bit, and then my knife and chisel to clean it up. So I got both sides shaped, and now I've made the slope here for the sound hole, and I'm just, you can barely see a score line starting to come through with my knife, so I'm just about through.
So, you know, we're kind of making do with tools right now. If you were probably home in your art studio or something, you might be using something like this.
Just leave it like that for now, eh?
You could bring it back.
Open up a little more?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bring it back a little more, and then
Like an eighth of an inch, or
yeah,
the opening?
yeah, because it'll probably end up being a quarter or better.
All right.
I think if I knew what it was, and he started getting into me, I'd probably have to tell him, hey, you don't come from here. And he would go to say nothing. We need, what he respected it.
Try this one, just very carefully go down and then see if you can't get it. And I have a smaller one, I think. Here you go. So this should help you get down in the corners. Is that working?
Yeah, no, that's working really
Okay,
nice.
good. Then, so take it a little bit more until you've got a nice little half moon thing, and then it won't take any more out until you get the air chamber down through there, so we can start listening to the sound.
Strong and very strong in the German.
What do you need to do?
I'm just trying to widen it out a little bit here.
Well, let me see what we can find. Okay, show me where you're at, and we'll see what we can find.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
He cut it off too late and died, and it was sad at the end, but whoa.